A very good afternoon to all of you. You're watching Rajya Sabha TV. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra. Let's get the midday news rolling with the headlines. Postpaid mobile services restored in Kashmir Valley. 40 lakh postpaid mobiles become operational after 72 days of restrictions. Landline services already fully functional. Government committee to ensure energy access to all Indians, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, assures investors that India will honour contractual commitments under energy agreements. Pakistan using terrorism as an instrument of state policy, says National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Addressing a meeting of ATS chiefs, says Pakistan under immense pressure from FATF to rein in terror groups. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to begin campaign in Haryana today. Amit Shah and Rahul Gandhi to also address rallies in the state. Election campaign intensifies in Maharashtra. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu to meet Speaker of Sierra Leone Parliament. Abbas Bundu announces opening of Indian High Commission of Sierra Leone. Both nations signed 6 agreements during Naidu's visit. Push for UN SC reforms. In a major relief, postpaid mobile services were restored across Jammu and Kashmir this noon. 40 lakh postpaid mobile phones of all networks have become operational. The announcement to this effect was made by the Jammu and Kashmir administration on Saturday. Mobile services were snapped after the government's move to abrogate Section 370 on 5th August. Partial fixed line telephones were resumed in the valley on 17th August, and by 4th September, nearly 50,000 landlines were declared operational. Mobile internet and broadband is yet to be restored in the valley since the decision.
अगर आज मोबाइल खुल रहे हैं पोस्ट पे बहुत अच्छी बात है, राहत मिल लोगों को, कॉन्टैक्ट्स बढ़ेंगे, अपनों से मिलेंगे, बिछड़ गए हैं अपने, जैसे बाहर अब्रॉड चले गए हैं बहुत सारे लोग, उनसे कोई कनेक्ट नहीं हो पा रहा है, बहुत सारी मुश्किलात दूर हो जाएंगे इससे.
देखिए अच्छी बात है अगर मोबाइल फिर से बहाल हो जाए.
National Security Advisor Ajit Doval addressed the chiefs of the anti-terrorism squads and special task force today. Doval stressed on a comprehensive approach to counter-terrorism and laid special emphasis on curbing terror funding. Doval added that Pakistan is using terrorism as an instrument of state policy.
Terrorism is fought under 3 different silos. And all these 3 are most important. The first and the most vital is to know who is the terrorist. What is he planning? Who are his targets? Where is he getting his weapons? Where is he stored them? Who is giving them money? Who are their overground supporters? Which are the countries, if at all there are any foreign sponsored terrorism? And we know that today terrorism is one of the phenomena that is supported and gets its support and sustenance from the sources abroad. So it is very important first to know about terrorism.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman assured investors that India will honour contractual commitments under various energy agreements. Addressing the India Energy Forum at Energy event Sera Week, Sitharaman said investors should not have any concerns as all government commitments will be honoured. Sitharaman also raised the issue of global crude oil prices and sought views on how India can expand its energy resources mix. The minister also spelled out the tax reforms undertaken by the government.
And I also would broadly want to highlight the concern, and a justifiable concern, about honouring contractual commitments, irrespective of where it emerges from or whether you have reasons for it or not. I'm not even getting into that debate. But we as a nation are concerned, and we are doing everything positive to make sure commitments are honoured. that shouldn't worry those investing or those who are really interested in building capacities in India for energy and energy security.
And let's begin with all the news from poll-bound states of Haryana and Maharashtra. With only a week to go for assembly elections, campaigning has entered its last leg. In Haryana, PM Narendra Modi will address his first election, Faridabad's Ballabgarh district. PM's campaign is expected to focus on Manohar Lal Khattar's non-corruption image, along with delivering on central social welfare schemes. The PM is also scheduled to address rallies in Kurukshetra, Dadri and Hisar this week. BJP chief Amit Shah is scheduled to campaign 3 election rallies in Haryana. Shah will address rallies in Fatehabad, Sirsa and Hisar. Meanwhile, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will also kick off election campaign in the state with an election rally in Nuh district today. BJP released its Haryana election manifesto on Sunday, promising a slew of measures including easy loans for farmers, free education to girls from poor families and skill training to 25 lakh youths. The BJP promised to give collateral-free loan of up to Rs 3 lakh to members of the scheduled castes, interest-free crop loan of up to 3 lakh to farmers, and provide skill training with an outlay of Rs 500 crore to 25 lakh youths. Committed to showing zero tolerance for corruption, the BJP said round-the-clock toll-free anti-corruption call centre will be set up. Special incentives for industries employing 95% local people. An increase in old age pension was also announced. BJP's National Working President JP Nadda, Union Ministers Narendra Singh Tomar and Rao Inderjeet Singh and CM Manohar Lal Khattar were also present at the event. Nadda said the manifesto represents all sections of society.
सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, इसको तो हम ले ही रहे हैं, लेकिन समाज के सारे इश्यूज को और सारे सेक्शंस ऑफ द सोसाइटी को एड्रेस करने की कोशिश है। जहां तक किसान का सवाल है, किसान को कमाऊ और टिकाऊ बनाना है। वह कमाने लायक हो, उसकी आमदनी बढ़े और वो कृषि के क्षेत्र में टिका रहे।
Let's now get you all the news and updates from the election battleground in Maharashtra. Prime Minister Modi hit campaign trail in poll-bound Maharashtra on Sunday, where he addressed public rallies in Jalgaon and Bhandara districts. Targeting the opposition, he said the government has paid special attention to rural Maharashtra, which was neglected by the previous government for decades. He added that the BJP government was working with a new energy towards creating the identity of a new India.
बांटने और छांटने वाली राजनीति अब अतीत हो गई है और इसका ट्रेलर आप सभी ने 2014 में दिखा दिया था और इस चुनाव में आप लोग पूरी फिल्म दिखा देने वाले हैं। जो काम करेगा उसको ही आपका विश्वास मिलेगा, ये अब सिद्ध हो चुका है।
Stepping up his attack on the Congress and NCP over nullification of Article 370, PM accused them of politicizing the issue. He assured that it will not take more than 4 months to normalize the situation in the valley.
जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख को लेकर लिया गया फैसला भाजपा के उन संस्कारों का भी आईना है। हमारे वादों और इरादों में एक स्पष्टता भी है और वादों को पूरा करने का साहस भी है।
BJP President Amit Shah campaigned in Kolhapur on Sunday. Shah appealed to people to once again vote the Fadnavis government to power so that the state can become number one in every field. Rahul Gandhi campaigned in Maharashtra's Latur district on Sunday. Stepping up attack on the ruling BJP, Gandhi raised the issue to unemployment among youth. He said divisive politics was one of the reasons behind the closure of scores of factories in the country. He appealed to people to elect the Congress in the upcoming election.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की विचारधारा महाराष्ट्र के दिल के अंदर है। ये जो प्रदेश है, ये कांग्रेस पार्टी की नींव है, फाउंडेशन है। यहां पे आपके दिल के अंदर, आपके खून के अंदर कांग्रेस पार्टी की हिंदुस्तान की विचारधारा भरी हुई है। उसको कोई निकाल नहीं सकता।
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will conclude his two-nation visit to Africa today. In Sierra Leone, on the second leg of his tour, Vice President Naidu will meet the Speaker of Sierra Leone Parliament, Abbas Bundu. He will also visit the Choitram Charity Hospital before leaving for India. Earlier on Sunday, India and Sierra Leone signed 6 agreements to boost bilateral cooperation during Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu's visit to the African nation. Both countries agreed to enhance cooperation in agriculture, food processing, information technology, infrastructure development, and capacity building. They also agreed to push for UNSC reforms. The agreements were signed in presence of Julius Maada Bio, President of Sierra Leone, and the Vice President Naidu after they held delegation-level talks in Freetown. Vice President Naidu announced the opening of a high commission in Sierra Leone. He also announced a line of credit of US $30 million to Sierra Leone for irrigation development. Naidu also expressed his satisfaction at the cooperation between India and Sierra Leone in the field of capacity building, especially under India's flagship ITEC program. He said that enormous potential exists for Indian participation in mining, agro-industries, aquaculture, diamonds and pharmaceuticals.
The United Nations has to be further reflect the realities of today and address the current global challenges. We will move together. We agreed that both sides need to continue pushing for reforms so that the 1/3 of the mankind residing in Africa and India occupy their rightful place at the high table in decision-making bodies of the United Nations. I also thank the President Bio for Sierra Leone's support for India's candidature in various international organizations. That we will be working along with you and we will be working together and our developmental cooperation to Sierra Leone with our lines of credit so far has been worth, as I said, 217.5 million, covering a range of sectors. I'm happy that we continue to cooperate closely on capacity building, especially under our flagship ITEC programs. I'm told Your Excellency is taking more interest in education, in skill development, and in encouraging the youth to acquire these skills. I can assure you that India will extend all the required support in this.
Re-establishing Indian Embassy in Freetown, which is the capital of Sierra Leone, and extending India-Sierra Leone cooperation in areas such as finance, trade, technology, and also providing food grains to the country, Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu, had a fruitful dialogue with the President and Vice President of Sierra Leone today. both the leaders have agreed to extend and enhance cooperation in various fields by strengthening the strong bond between the people. With camera person Sanjay Kumar from Freetown, Rajkamal Rao, Rajya Sabha TV.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has termed the Indian diaspora as an important partner in strengthening India's international outreach. Addressing the Indian community at a reception in Sierra Leone, Vice President Naidu called upon them to contribute to the development of both countries, stating that Indian citizens abroad serve as equal partners in India's quest for peace, prosperity and development. The Vice President invited the Indian diaspora to play a key role in spreading the message of India. He said that India was on the move and is fast becoming a favorite investment destination for the world.
India
Naidu
is thriving. The reason being Indian philosophy, universal brotherhood, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Vasudaika Kutumbakam. The entire world is one family. That is the philosophy. Share and care is the core of our Indian philosophy. And India was once known as Vishwa Guru. Students from abroad, they used to come to Nalanda, then Takshashila, Pushpagiri, Vikramshila, all these places, and they used to get educated, even Chinese historians.
Vice President Naidu stated that government's decision to reorganize Jammu and Kashmir was intended to extend all the laws and benefits of developmental programs to this region and ensure inclusive all-round development. He also reiterated India's offer to conduct a Jaipur foot camp in Sierra Leone under the India for Humanity initiative for fitting of artificial prosthetic limbs for the disabled. He also thanked Sierra Leone President Biu for releasing a postage stamp on Mahatma Gandhi.
Keeping on moreover, being a bordering state, our neighbor is aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists, and separatist tendencies are being encouraged. And the focus is more on controlling it rather than on development. So India, after considerable thought and discussion, the government of India has decided to reorganize Jammu and Kashmir. We have not changed the boundaries of the state. Boundaries will remain the same.
Vice President visited Comoros on the first leg of his two-nation tour. Rajya Sabha TV spoke to the President of Comoros about the visit, who termed the visit crucial. Take a look.
I have with me the President of Comoros, Mr. Azali Assoumani. Thanks for speaking to us, Mr. President. Could you please share your experience with your interactions with the Honorable Vice President of India?
Écoutez, merci beaucoup pour cette interview, mais partager l'expérience, c'est trop. Au contraire, on doit s'enrichir de l'expérience indienne. C'est-à-dire, cette visite, c'est venu à point nommé. On a beaucoup apprécié, le peuple comorien a beaucoup apprécié, parce que l'Inde et les Comores entretiennent des relations d'antan, et aujourd'hui, on est en train de le concrétiser. Mon ministre des Affaires étrangères a fait une visite en Inde, moi aussi j'en ai fait un dans le cadre du solaire, mais cette visite bilatérale, ça marque un très bon point pour le pays.
Sure. Sir, you visited India twice during the India-African Summit. So if you could share your experience with us during your visit to India.
Ben, j'ai beaucoup appris. Hein. Bon, c'est vrai, géographiquement on est séparés, et puis aussi, quand on a un pays qui compte 1,3 milliard d'habitants et que nous on a 600 000.
How strong is the Mahatma Gandhi's influence on Comorians?
Une très bonne question. Vous savez, même nous, quand on était jeunes, hein, on suivait Mahatma Gandhi hein, et on appréciait hein, cette personnalité hein, qui luttait, hein, mais sans utiliser la force, hein, la paix et la sécurité et les conseils qu'il donnait. Donc on a beaucoup appris de lui et ça on s'en est référé parce qu'on avait une crise ici en 99 hein, et au lieu de la résoudre par les armes, on est assis, on a discuté ensemble, on a trouvé une solution. Et je pense que c'est un bon professeur à nous, on va s'inspirer.
King William Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands are in New Delhi on a 5-day visit. The royal couple paid tributes to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat this afternoon. Earlier in the day, they met President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The royal couple were accorded a guard of honor this morning. The royal couple was given a traditional welcome at the airport in New Delhi on Sunday, where several officials lined up to receive them. This is King William Alexander's first state visit to India after his ascension to the throne in 2013. The visit is expected to boost economic and political cooperation between the two countries. At least 12 persons died and some others were injured in a cylinder blast in Mao district in Uttar Pradesh. The cylinder exploded at a house in Walitpur area in Mao on Monday. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has expressed his deepest condolences to the family of the deceased. UP CM has directed DM and other officials to immediately provide all possible relief and medical help to the injured persons. Pope Francis elevated Kerala-born nun Mariam Theresa to sainthood on Sunday. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan was present in Vatican City to attend the canonization ceremony at the St. Peter's Square. Born in Thrissur district, Theresa was a social reformer who established Congregation of Holy Family in 1914, which later became one of the prominent religious congregations of the Syro-Malabar Church. Saint Theresa passed away in 1926. The Prime Minister had praised Saint Theresa in his Mann Ki Baat last month.
सिस्टर मरियम थ्रेसिया ने 50 साल के अपने छोटे से जीवन काल में ही मानवता की भलाई के लिए जो कार्य किए वो पूरी दुनिया के लिए एक मिसाल है। समाज सेवा और शिक्षा के क्षेत्र से उनका अद्भुत लगाव था। उन्होंने कई स्कूल, हॉस्टल और अनाथालय बनवाए और जीवन पर्यंत इस मिशन में लगी रही। मैं एक बार फिर से सिस्टर मरियम थ्रेसिया को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं और भारत के लोगों को, खास तौर पर हमारे ईसाई भाई बहनों को इस उपलब्धि के लिए बहुत-बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
A parliamentary delegation led by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla is in Belgrade in Serbia to attend the 141st Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly. The 141st Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union is being held in Belgrade, Serbia from October 13th to October 17th. Lok Sabha Speaker held a review meeting with the Indian delegation. Ahead of the beginning of the event, Om Birla met with IPU President Gaby Cuevas. In the meeting, he discussed about the successful conduct of the first session of the 17th Lok Sabha, in which productivity of Lok Sabha went up to 125%. He also held a bilateral meeting with the Speaker of Bangladesh, Dr. Shireen Sharmin Chaudhry. In the meeting, he invited her to come to India to witness the working of the Indian Parliament and interact with Indian women parliamentarians and young members of Parliament. He also met with the President of Chamber of Deputies of Mexico, Laura Rojas Hernandez, and the parliamentary delegation. The two sides discussed about parliamentary cooperation between the two parliaments. At least 35 people died and 17 others are missing as Typhoon Hagibis ripped through Japan, including Tokyo's metropolitan area, causing multiple rivers to overflow and power blackout. Typhoon Hagibis made landfall south of Tokyo on Saturday evening and battered central and northern Japan with torrents of rain and powerful gusts of wind. The typhoon was downgraded to a tropical storm on Sunday. Public broadcaster NHK said 14 rivers across the nation had flooded, some spilling out in more than one spot. The typhoon 6 decades ago left more than 1,200 people dead and 500,000 houses flooded. In a series of tweets, Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled the loss of lives in Japan due to Typhoon Hagibis and said Indian Navy personnel who are there on a scheduled visit would be happy to assist in rescue operations. After Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave his condolences to Japan, India has sent 2 warships to the waters of Japan. to help the Asian nation battered by Typhoon Hagibis in relief operations. Indian boxer Manju Rani bagged the silver medal in the 48 kg category final in World Women's Boxing Championships at Ulan-Ude in Russia on Sunday. Manju lost the gold medal bout 1-4 against second seed Ekaterina Paltseva of Russia, but still managed to finish as the best Indian performer in this edition. This was Manju's maiden appearance at the World Championships. And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Midday News. Thank you so much for joining us.